Well, reader interest in a Business Courier exclusive story about changes at the Cincinnati Enquirer has been exceptional. Clearly, Cincinnati news consumers care about what is happening to their daily paper. More than a dozen newsroom staffers at the Enquirer, including its #2 editor, are departing as the region's largest local media company embarks on the biggest shakeup in its history. The reorganization was ordered up by the Enquirer's parent company, Gannett, and it's happening in markets across the United States. It has unleashed the voluntary exodus of at least 1 out of every 6 newsroom staffers as veteran journalists with hundreds of years of experience opt to walk instead of reapplying. Business Courier reporter Chris Wetterick wrote the story and continues to follow it. He joins editor Rob Dawmeyer in the studio with more on that story that everyone is talking about. Chris and Rob.
Thanks, Big. Chris, thanks for being here. Obviously, it's not our business typically to write stories about people that are doing roughly what we're doing, but in this case, it was such a big deal. It was so dramatic, the changes they're making over there, that we felt it was a good idea for you to go ahead and do it, and you've done a lot of work on that. Why is this all happening now? What's going on?
You know, it's part of a national story about the news media, particularly daily newspapers. Their revenues have not gone up since the year 2007, and they are trying to deal with that. Print revenues, revenues from advertisers putting ads in the paper just aren't, they've flatlined and dropped through the floor. So that's the main reason that newspapers have to look at redoing what they do, basically. Daily newspapers, that is.
Yeah, some of the big names that have been over there for quite some time are leaving. Who are some of these people?
You know, I mean, the big names that stick out, too, we reported earlier this week, were John Kieswetter, the paper's longtime TV and radio writer, and Cliff Radel, a columnist for a long time there. You have other people like Laura Trujillo, who's the #2 editor today. These are all, very big names that people, open a paper and have been reading for decades. So it's a big hit to them. It's a big brain drain. But the Enquirer editor, Carolyn Washburn, feels it's necessary pain to, embrace the digital future that all newspapers and news organizations in general are facing.
So you talked to a lot of the people that decided to go. I mean, again, to be clear, a lot of the people decided to leave on their own.
Right.
They weren't forced out. Why? Some of these people have been here decades and decades. Why do you think, what did they tell you?
Very few people wanted to speak on the record because they were concerned about their severance package or future jobs or whatever, but generally the thread running amongst the veterans who've decided to leave is that, they felt there was no place for them in this new news ecosystem, if you want to call it that. The jobs are a lot different, and they felt that they were left out.
Are we done? I mean, have we seen the last of the changes? I mean, they've got sort of a new world order going over there so that readers who get the Enquirer can sort of feel comfortable about who's covering what?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll ever be done with the change. I think it's going to be ongoing. Yeah. They expected to hear Friday about who got jobs and who didn't, for those who did reapply. So stay tuned. We'll have more on the story as it goes on.
Great. Thanks very much, Chris.
Thanks.